Coming up on News 11, a local mentoring program is helping teens thrive. Supreme Court has denied Karen Read's double jeopardy appeal, and a power outage in Spain and Portugal are affecting millions. All this and more, News 11 starts right now.
Good evening and welcome back to News 11. I'm Sam Falone.
And I'm Kellyanne Hender.
We have a lot of exciting stories to cover, so let's get started with your local news. Recently, the Fredonia Opera House received a grant to get new curtains put up in their stage. They were just left with one problem: what to do with the thick purple and gold curtains that just retired after over 40 years of use. At the same time, the Dunkirk Northern Chautauqua Catholic School was in need of new, larger theater curtains. The school had considered several grants to help renovate the stage, but they knew it would take time to find the right grant and receive the money in a timely fashion. Fortunately, once Executive Director of the Opera House, Rick Davis, found out about the school's need, he happily obliged to donate the curtains on behalf of the Opera House. Several teachers and parents from the school helped transport and hoist the curtains into their new home. Paul Pinto, the NCCS principal, said, quote, "It has been wonderful to be a part of the preservation of these pieces of history. Those curtains arrived at the Fredonia Opera House around 1993, and now they can open for new audiences in Dunkirk. That is a real legacy," end quote. For more information on events and how you can make a donation, you can visit nccschool.us and fredopera.org.
On Tuesday, City of Dunkirk officials stressed that there will not be an increase in water rates for residential consumers. Department of Public Works Director Randy Woodbury clearly stated, quote, "City residential rates will not be increasing," end quote. There was a bit of confusion on the matter, which likely stemmed from Dunkirk recently raising its water rate to a large consumer, the North County Water District. However, City of Dunkirk residents have their water rates governed by City Hall, not the Water District, which is governed by NCWD. City residents can expect to pay $4.33 per 1,000 gallons used, while NCWD is paying $5.27 for 1,000 gallons.
The Sinclair Free Library is welcoming a local author to their Wednesday afternoon story hour. Each week, the Sinclair Library hosts a story hour, which is dedicated to teaching school readiness skills by inviting their library littles to enjoy playing together while learning to share and interacting with others. This week, April 30th at 1 p.m., author Dawn Swanson was reading her new children's book titled Charlotte and the Mischievous Cat. In addition to reading her story, attendees were also able to complete a cat craft. The library's full schedule is available on their Facebook as well as their website. You can register online for a spot at for other events like these at www.sinclairlibrary.org.
The Heritage Point Development Project at Canalside, a $40 million initiative to boost Western New York's tourism, is facing another delay. The project, led by Sinatra and Company Real Estate, began in 2021 but has remained stagnant since March of 2024. Sinatra and Company now faces further delays, with work expected to resume before the end of June. Despite claims that the project was back on course after securing a $4 million loan, no visible progress has been made. Construction was originally halted in March 2023 due to financing issues, and Nick Sinatra called it the most challenging project of his 15-year career. Sinatra and Company released a statement confirming their commitment to remobilizing the project by June of 2025. The Erie Canal Harbor Development Corporation has urged Sinatra to resume construction according to their agreement, with no funds to be distributed until completion. While the community awaits progress, the future of Heritage Point remains uncertain.
A year-round mentoring program in Buffalo is helping youth develop skills and stay out of trouble. HEAT, which stands for Health, Empowerment, Attitude, and Teamwork, helps teens develop all of these skills. Kyler Montero of West Seneca was 16 when he joined the program. Heat helped him to focus on school and extracurriculars to give him more stability and community. He is now a successful player on the football team and has even started a nonprofit which provides scholarships to students who show commitment to their community. Other students have shared stories about being in trouble with the juvenile justice system. Through Heat, they have attended all of their court dates and are on a much better path. The organization has also helped students find meaningful employment. Eligible participants have access to job opportunities, mentorship, and more through Heat.
A $47.5 million project in Buffalo is well underway. The project is aimed at improving the Buffalo Harbor State Park. Acting Commissioner of New York State Parks Randy Simmons states that the project's goal is to increase the community feel in Buffalo and give families an outdoor space to enjoy. The renovation induces a small water attraction, cafe, shopping center, and a large water fountain in the shape of a buffalo. The space is expected to be open on Memorial Day of 2026.
Buffalo Comedy Collective is preparing for its grand opening at the former Blackbird Cider Hall on Chandler Street. Buffalo Comedy Collective renovated the former Blackbird Cider Hall into an intimate 60-seat theater with a bar, concessions area, along with an outdoor patio. With this new location, the company plans to offer a variety of classes and shows. The opening is set for this Friday, with performances scheduled for Saturday.
The 12th annual Buffalo Cherry Blossom Festival took place this past Saturday and Sunday. The event is held in the Japanese Gardens in Buffalo, located right behind the Buffalo History Museum. The festival began as a celebration of Buffalo's sister city relationship with Kanazawa, Japan. Over the years, it has grown into a celebration of the arrival of spring. This year's festival included 3 stages of live music in partnership with Music is Art, pink paddle boats on Mirror Lake, and a DA pop-up tea ceremony. Inside of the History Museum, visitors could have found Japanese cultural activities and more than 35 vendors. The event was a great way to welcome the warmer weather.
The city has warned that with financial times being hard everywhere, there is a potential for a tax hike. Acting Mayor Chris Scanlon feels hopeful for the upcoming fiscal year. He proposed a budget which included an 8% property increase, which is now being reviewed. Some members of the Buffalo Fiscal Stability Authority fear that the budget is not balanced. While Scanlon projects for an increase in profits, others seem to believe those projections are too high. Because of this, the committee has asked for a gap plan to fill any potential falls in the original budget. The final budget and gap plan is due May 28th.
New York Governor Kathy Hochul announced a general agreement has been made on the fiscal year 2026 budget. The budget is $254 billion. However, Hochul did not rule out the potential for future changes depending on actions that may take place in Washington. She said the state of New York has already seen $1.3 billion in cuts from the federal government. In a statement, Hochul said, quote, "The reality is we can only devise a budget based on the information we have at this time. There's a possibility that we'll have to come back later this year and update our budget in response to federal actions," end quote. And when we return, we will have your national stories. We'll be right back.
To Sofia and Gabriel, Miss Flores, my little flowers. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love, so you can take me with you wherever you go, near or far. These stitches and threads join us together. Me, your mother, and both of you. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you as you bring our colorful stories to the world.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Earlier this week, millions of Americans were on high alert as several states experienced severe weather conditions and potential tornadoes. These weather conditions posed a risk to states including Iowa, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Wisconsin, where they faced the greatest likelihood of tornadoes. These states also experienced large hail and destructive thunderstorms while being on a tornado watch through Monday night. Parts of Missouri, Nebraska, Kansas, and Texas and Oklahoma were also on tornado watch, experiencing winds of up to 75 miles per hour. On Sunday, 10 tornadoes were reported in Nebraska, while also experiencing hail the size of baseballs. It was also reported of a train derailing from a tornado, according to the Nebraska State Patrol. More than 60 million Americans were on alert for these severe weather alerts from Texas to western New York for potential risk for this weather activity continuing into Tuesday night. Damaging wind, tornadoes, and large hail were possible in all of these areas, as well as excessive rainfall for some states. It is reported one person has died on Saturday due to the flash flooding in Oklahoma, according to the police.
The U.S. Navy has lost a $60 million jet in the sea after it fell off an aircraft carrier. Last Monday, a Navy FA-18 fighter jet fell off the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier in order to evade enemy fire in Yemen. According to officials, the aircraft was being towed when they lost control and both the fighter jet and tower fell into the ocean. All aircraft personnel are accounted for, with only one sailor experiencing an injury. The FA-18 jet cost more than $60 million, and while the cost of the towing is unknown, it can be estimated that this costed the Navy nearly $70 million. The incident is currently still under investigation to find out how such a catastrophic loss can happen.
The U.S. Supreme Court has denied Karen Read's petition of judicial review and therefore will not be reviewing her case. Read was accused of killing her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, back in January of 2022, where prosecutors allege that Read hit O'Keefe with her vehicle and left him as Boston was hit with a major blizzard. Read has now asked the Supreme Court to intervene in her case, arguing double jeopardy after the jurors allegedly agreed acquittal for 2 cases in her first trial. In Read's first trial, she was charged with first-degree murder and manslaughter while operating a motor vehicle under the influence and leaving the scene of a fatal accident, where she pleaded not guilty. The judge then declared a mistrial last year when the jury could not reach a unanimous verdict on all of the counts. Read is now in her second week of her retrial, where her attorneys have asked for multiple appeals to the court to dismiss the charges of second-degree murder and leaving the scene of a fatal accident. Her attorneys have argued that retrying her on these charges could violate the double jeopardy protections, since the jury has previously reached a unanimous decision to acquit Read of these charges. Since the Supreme Court has rejected her appeal, she has now run out of options, and it is unclear where the trial is headed now.
We apologize for that disturbance. New York State winemakers are adjusting to many shifting climates, including climate change. They are facing an imperfect storm with the enactment of tariffs and the rollback of many environmental protection policies. Because of this, many makers are adopting sustainable practices in order to continue to thrive and to do their part in the fight against global warming. More than 130 wineries are operating in the Finger Lakes region of New York. They are subject to the early days of warmth in the spring, causing the plants to bud. In recent years, more often than not, there has been a frost after warm days, killing a lot of their potential harvest. Farmers are cutting back on their burning of fossil fuels and coal, turning to solar panels to power their operations. Some wineries have put in geothermal pipelines for heating and cooling, as well as increasing composting practices. One maker even helped establish wine bottle dumpsters to keep the glass out of landfills and allow it to be recycled. New York wineries hope to continue these practices and stay in business with continued community support.
A speedboat racing at nearly 200 miles per hour flipped backward into the air before crashing into an Arizona lake. The boat went more than 30 feet high, but both racers inside survived with only minor injuries. Freedom One Racing said the drivers were, quote, just a little banged up, end quote, thanks to their helmets and harnesses. The crash happened Saturday during a race on a 3/4-mile course. Even after flipping, the boat crossed the finish line and won, recording a top speed of 200.1 miles per hour. Speedboat Magazine's Ray Lee said windy conditions and propeller adjustments likely caused the boat to lift off. He also noted that racing courses have been shortened to improve safety, with reinforced cockpits and emergency gear now standard. Freedom One Racing posted a video showing the damaged boat back on a trailer and confirmed their drivers got out safely.
A woman in Virginia was enjoying a margarita at Henrico County restaurant when a baby snake fell from the ceiling, bounced off her forehead, and landed in her drink. The woman, Carletta Andrews, said after it fell in her drink, it, quote, was moving. It started wrapping around her straw, end quote. Restaurant workers tried to get the snake to wrap around a stick, but once that proved to be unsuccessful, another customer grabbed it with their hands and took it outside. The restaurant owner said that the snake likely entered the building through an air conditioning vent. As for Andrews, she is traumatized and has said she is, quote, not going out to eat anytime soon, end quote. And when we return, Jenna Polito joins us with our sports update, and we'll have your first look at weather. We'll be right back.
We've been down there. You gotta do the same. All you do is sign. So don't get nervous. Sign your name. For Selective Service. It takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. For Selective Service.
Hey guys, if you're about to turn 18, you've got to register with Selective Service. It's simple. Just go down to the post office, fill out a card, and turn it in. That's all there is to it. There's no draft now. You're just adding your name to Selective Service's list in case there's a national emergency.
So if you're 18 now, Selective Service, you gotta get down to the post office.
Register with Selective Service. It's quick, it's easy, and it's the law.
Takes no time. Just sign on the line at the post office. Selective Service.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
We're now joined by Jenna Polito, who will be giving us our weekly sports update. What's going on in sports, Jenna?
Thanks, Sam. The Fredonia softball team celebrated Senior Day this past Thursday with a doubleheader against Buffalo State. Fredonia won the first game 1-0. The only run came from Chloe Whittingham after scoring off of Madison Lowe's pop-up. The second game, Fredonia suffered a tough loss with the score beginning 8-7. The game saw some tough errors from Fredonia and ultimately it cost them the game. The Blue Devils play again next at SUNY Oswego tomorrow afternoon. The Blue Devils baseball boys also suffered a couple upsetting losses. They played Geneva in a doubleheader last night and lost both games. The first game saw impressive at-bats from Kyle Tedford, Bryce Firkins, and Tyler Curtis. The 8-5 score, however, was in favor of Geneva. The second game saw quick RBIs from Noah Panic, Brady Ventura, and Kyle Tedford. However, due to some crucial errors, the Blue Devils fell 7-4. Fredonia plays next against Plattsburgh State on May 2nd at 3 p.m. And now I'm going to toss it back to Sam for our first weather forecast. So what do you have for us, Sam?
Thank you, Jenna. Today we saw a mild April day with a high of 52 degrees and a low of 43 degrees. We saw a few clouds this morning, and as we headed into the night, we will see some increase in clouds. Tomorrow it will warm up quite a bit with a high of 73 degrees. We will see a cloudy morning with a 67% chance of rain and a possibility of thunderstorms developing later into the day. As we head into the night, we will continue to see that the cloudy skies and rain will drop down to a low of 60 degrees. We continue to see some April showers this weekend, so make sure you have your umbrella. And when we return, we'll have your international headlines. We'll be right back.
This one's for the real ballers and shot callers, the sisterhood of women in tech. They're discovering cures, building apps, and programming the blockchain. They're CEOs, worldwide hustlers who can make it rain. They're tearing down the old boys club and seeing big gains. 'Cause when women in tech come together, you know they make that change.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes.
Make a plan today.
Millions of people in Spain, Portugal, and parts of southern France lost power on Monday after a, quote, severe disruption, end quote, in the European electrical system. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said that the cause of the disruption is still unknown. The Spanish government held an emergency crisis meeting to fix the situation as soon as possible, and a national emergency has been declared in multiple regions, including Madrid and Andalusia. The power was returned yesterday.
Ronan Bar, the head of Israel's powerful internal security service, says he will step down on June 15th, nearly 3 months after Israel's government voted for the first time to dismiss the head of the security agency. On March 21st, the Israeli cabinet unanimously voted to dismiss Bar from his position as the head of Israel's security agency, commonly known as Shin Bet. In his speech, Bar accepted responsibility for the failures of the Shin Bet on October 7th. Israel's High Court has halted the dismissal of Shin Bet's head, David Bar, which has caused tensions between Netanyahu and his right-wing party. The Israeli cabinet revoked the motion to dismiss Bar, preventing the case from reaching the Supreme Court. Bar has been in a bitter feud with Netanyahu, accusing him of politically motivated investigations. In response, Netanyahu accused Bar of filing a false affidavit, asserting that he was fired because he failed in his duty.
Elections for the new head of the Catholic Church will begin on May 7th. Pope Francis passed away last weekend after being hospitalized for weeks with respiratory complications. Cardinals will gather in 2 weeks for the papal conclave to initiate the elections. A special mass for Pope Francis will be held on May 7th, and elections will begin shortly after. 180 cardinals are expected to attend the election. However, only 100 are able to vote. The rest of the cardinals are past 80 years old and are not allowed to vote due to regulations of the church. The conclave is expected to last 15 to 20 days, with the new pope being announced at the conclusion of the event. And after the break, a look at JoJo Siwa's relationships during her time on Big Brother, Selena Gomez's first ever prom photo shoot, and the list of inductees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. We'll be right back.
When you think of the local lowdown, what do you think of?
Well, when I think of the local lowdown, it's the live music that we have played in the studio.
It's gotta be the laughs we shared, the memorable moments during the whole thing. Oh my God, so fun.
The local lowdown for me is the people behind the scenes, the amazing team that we have making the show.
Oh, it's gotta be exploring all sorts of genres and music I've never heard before.
Oh, easy. Going out to shows and talking to artists and getting the latest news on what they have planned for the future.
It's about these artists, man. Giving them a platform to showcase what they've worked so hard on and show their music to the community. It's all about supporting the local scene of music to keep it running for years to come. And of course, the band merch. You can't forget about the merch.
JoJo Siwa has announced her connection with Chris Hughes after being on Big Brother UK with him. Both Siwa and Hughes have admitted they got very close while in the house, and their current relationship is hard to describe. They have previously described it as a platonic soulmate, a very close friendship that they share. The pair is not dating, but they are happy to have had each other in the stressful environment in the house. They now continue to bond after leaving the show.
Selena Gomez was thrown a prom-style photo shoot with her fiancé, Benny Blanco. On social media, Blanco posted pictures and a short video of him and his fiancé's photos. According to Blanco, Gomez never got to attend a prom, so he had the idea of going to a mall for a prom photo shoot. The post includes pictures of the two performing classic prom poses, such as Blanco holding Gomez's waist from behind, and many ironically awkward family photos in front of JCPenney. The couple first met back in 2015 when Blanco co-produced one of Gomez's singles named Same Old Love. However, their relationship didn't start until 2 years ago, and it went public last year. The two of them said they had a fun time with this event, experiencing something no one should miss out on.
First-time nominees, old and new, such as Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Bad Company, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, and the White Stripes will be inducted into this year's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony. Some of the awards that artists will be recognized for include Salt-N-Pepa, the first female rap act to achieve gold and platinum status, and the late singer-songwriter Warren Zevon will get the Musical Influence Award. The late producer Tom Bell, pianist Nicky Hopkins, and bassist Carol Kay will each get the Musical Excellence Award. Artists have released their first commercial recording in the last 25 years before they are eligible for induction. Nominees were voted on by more than 1,200 artists, historians, and music industry professionals. The selection criteria include, quote, an artist's impact on other musicians, the scope and longevity of their career and body of work, as well as their innovation and excellence in style and technique, end quote. The 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction will be live on Saturday, November 8th at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, California, and will be streamed live on Disney Plus and ABC and Hulu at a later date. And now I'm going to toss it over to Kellyanne one last time tonight for the end of the weekend weather. How does it look, Kellyanne?
Thanks, Sam. Friday, we will see a high of 62 degrees with a 63% chance of rain in the morning. In the afternoon, we will see that rain slow down, and as we head into the night, we will continue to see some overcast with showers throughout the night as we drop down to a low of 49 degrees. Saturday, we will see it cool down with a high of 56 degrees, but the rain unfortunately will not let up. We have a 65% chance of showers in the morning and cloudy skies throughout the afternoon. As we head into the night, we will see it drop down to 47 degrees and the rain will let up and we will just see a cloudy sky. Sunday, we will finally start to see the rain settle down with only a 14% chance throughout the day. We will see partly cloudy skies throughout the day, as well as a high of 60 degrees. As we head into the night, we will continue to see the cloudy sky, and it will drop down to a low of 48 degrees. And that is all I have for your weather this week.
Thank you, Kellyanne. And that does it for News 11. Thank you to our seniors who have put in hard work throughout the year, Jonathan Hagan, Brock Papke, and Tijan Thiam.
And thank you to our graduating executive producer, Elizabeth Weiglein, for all your dedication and hard work you've put into News 11 throughout the years.
Thank you for all you've taught us and all the amazing memories we've made with you. We wish you the best of luck post-graduation, and we will miss you in the fall.
As always, thank you to our behind-the-scenes crew and everyone watching at home. Have a great night, and we will be back this fall.
Have a great night.